Hey class, this is Professor London, and today we're going to be going over how to format an essay using MLA formatting and how to do it quickly using Word. And we're also going to look at how we can quickly cite our supporting documents from the Southwestern College library articles, and we're going to do it pretty quickly. So let's get started. Alright guys, so first off, let's go to Word. And first things first, you're going to want to create a new document, right? You click over here, New. And over here in the search box, you're going to want to put MLA, press Enter, give it a second. And it's going to offer you the option to click MLA style research paper, which in this case, we're not doing a research paper. It's just going to be an MLA style paper. So you can go ahead and click on that, and then go ahead and click Create. So then you're going to get this document to open, and it's pre-formatted. And you can see here, you'd put your last name up above, and you would just double click that, and you can delete where it says last name and put your last name. There's my last name, and make sure there's a space here between the one for page 1 and your last name. And what's going to happen is your last name and the page number are going to appear. See there? Page 2. Oh, what happened? Click Enter. Let's see here. Aha, okay. So the reason why the last name is not appearing on the other pages is because here it says different first page. And what we're going to want to do is, let's see, if we take that off, let's put the last name, close. Let's see if that, there we go. Now we got it. Now it'll have your last name and the number. You see that? And just so you know, when you're using Words and other software programs like this, it's always best to kind of, you see I've double-clicked the box again here, and then I look up and I'm starting to read, oh, what could be the cause? Oh, there we go. Because if this is checked, then when we close out, well, in this case we had already set it, but if we had left it checked, then in that case, your name would not appear on the next page, okay? Then over here, same thing. You're going to want to put your name. I'm going to put my name, pretending I'm the student. Okay, then the instructor's name. In this case, again, my name. And then the course number. Put English 115, that's fine. And then you would put today's date, whatever the date is, okay? Here in this case, since we're working on Essay 1, you would just put Essay 1 as the title, like that. And the subtitle, in this case, we're talking about World War I. If it was a different subject, then I would have you put the topic there, whatever the topic is, okay? So for the next essay, just make sure you put the topic of that next essay here, okay? And then you would change it to Essay 2, and then so forth and so on, Essay 3. And then for the final, you'd put, final essay, and then whatever the topic of that essay is here as its subtitle. Okay, guys? I'm going to scroll down to the bottom because I want you guys to see the Works Cited page. The Works Cited page is separate. Make sure that the Works Cited page is separate. The Works Cited page should not start here at the bottom of your conclusion paragraph. Okay? It should be here separate on its own. And what you're going to do in order to use this template here that Word has provided is you're just going to delete everything here, all the meat, potatoes. I recommend reading it before you delete it because it does have a lot of really good information as to how to cite properly, but it's not a requirement, and in the module I will cover more of those requirements, okay? And keep in mind that as you type your paper here, whatever it is that you're writing about, right? Don't start your essay like this. This is very boring. I'm just giving you an example, okay? You would have to make sure that, you know, this is indented, right? That you're not starting your essay over here. Excuse me, your paragraph over here. And just make sure that you're following MLA formatting as you're typing out your paper. That includes how you cite quotes. And in the module, we're going to go over that. In this video, I'm not going over how you cite quotes, okay? But let's look at our works cited page. I'm going to go ahead and delete this since this is just, you know, giving you the outline for how to cite any information that you're using in your essay to support your argument. So, you know, author, last name, first name, title of the book being referenced, so forth and so on, right? Or a journal title, right? Last name, first name, article title, journal title, year, pages, blah, 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 all right? So we're going to go ahead and delete that. Again, I'm going to show you the quick way to do this, okay? So what we're going to do is, first things first, we want to go to My Southwestern College. So let's go to Southwestern College website. And then you're going to want to go to My Southwestern College. And it's going to ask you to log in. I'm already pre-logged in, so that's why it's going straight to My Southwestern College, okay? To my portal here. Okay, so then you're going to scroll down. And where it says Campus Links, this is your friend, by the way, for like everything. But we're going to focus here, library articles and databases. So I'm going to click there. And I know these are many databases. And you could say, well, I'm studying World War I. And isn't that history? That's history. I should look at history. Well, you can see here all these different history sources. Or if you're like me and you're like, you know what? No, I don't know. I don't want to use these huge research banks here. I want to focus on what the New York Times says, or Wall Street Journal, or Los Angeles Times, or whatever you want to look at, right? Let's just click on the New York Times, right? Let's see what happens. And I wanted to click on the New York Times because there's a lot of articles that come out of there going back over 100 years ago. But just keep in mind when you click on the New York Times, for some reason it brings you to this search field that's limited to June 1st, 1980 to today. So this is not going to help you at all. You're going to search in here and you're going to hate your life. You're going to go World War I. You're going to search. And you're going to search, and it's going to think, and it's going to think. And it is going to provide you with some articles, like you can see here, but it's not necessarily going to give you specific information only about World War I, okay? So I recommend going to the basic search, and here you can put WW1, or you can spell out World War I. I would try both ways, honestly. Because watch, we did WW1, right? Now let's go back. Let's see what happens when we put in, when we type it out. World War I. And you're going to get a totally different search. Yep. That article's not the same as the one that we got before. But let's click on this one. Let's say, oh, this is the article that I'm going to use. One of the articles I'm going to use to support my argument in my essay 1. How do I cite this? Well, you're in luck. You go over here on the right-hand side, and you see where it says cite. You literally just click cite. Couldn't be easier. You come up here, and you say, oh, well, let's see. My professor said, whoop, we're using MLA format. Here we go. It's fine. The 8th edition, 7th edition, as long as you're consistent, guys. Click copy. Okay? Watch this. It gets crazier. This is how easy it is, okay? Go back to your works cited. Remember, this is the template we got from Word. Control V. Or you can right-click and then, you know, click paste. You can erase that. That's fine. And there it is. Our first article. Last name, first name, name of the article, date it was published, so forth, so on. And the link where you got it from. So let's go back to Southwestern College, right? Well, really the New York Times, but let's go back here, right, to our database. You say, okay, you know what, this is enough. This is enough from this database. I'm done. I want something else. You know what, maybe I was wrong. Maybe I should go over here. So let's say you continue looking for more articles or supporting information for Essay 1. You're like, I don't like what the professor provided. It's not enough. I want to keep looking. Okay, great. Good on you. Oh, look at this. Oh, interesting. Historical timeline. Select an era. What are we doing? Oh, World War I. Let's click that. What is this? Oh, look at that. It starts to give you more information. Now, granted, this is more of a timeline. You see that? And you could say, what's this? World War I and U.S. isolationism. Well, doesn't really have much to do with our topic as to what started World War I. You might even want to take it back over here. Gilded Age / Progressive Era. And go down. Maybe you decide nothing here is really useful. And that's okay. That'll happen. Maybe you decide, let's do this instead. World War I again. Let's see what we find. And you would go through, and again, you might say, oh, this is really complex. You know what? I don't like this one. All right, that's fine too. Let's keep going, right? And say, okay, let's try another newspaper, right? You could say, well, let's do this. 19th century U.S. newspapers. Well, that's the 1800s. That's not going to help us. So, historical newspapers, New York Times. So maybe that's going to be better for us. Maybe we want to look at some historical newspapers here. Help us see what was being said at the time. So let's do a basic search. Who knows? It might take us to the same place. Oh no, these are definitely historical articles. But, I mean, again, we're not getting very much here. This is when I like to advise students, and even me as a professor, let me tell you something. Do not ever underestimate the power of a librarian. Yeah, that's right. You heard me say it. Go to the library. Here, you click on that. Okay. And, yeah, you're going to look at this and say, oh my gosh, they're all closed. Okay. It's a Sunday. That's why. So what we're going to want to do is ask a librarian. And asking a librarian, you could put anonymous, you could put your name, whatever you want, okay? You and your email address and your question, you know, can you help me access World War I newspapers, articles, and information? I specifically would like to know about what started World War I. Okay? So you can let the librarian know, hey, I'm studying World War I, but more specifically, my essay is about, what started World War I. You can even email a question, and if you want to meet with a librarian via Zoom, you can even fill out the form, and they'll help you. Use your resources, students. I always say this. You're a Southwestern College student. Use all of these free resources available to make your life easy. I want your guys' life to be easy. That's why I preach using this pre-formatted MLA paper on Word. This is why I preach all of you that when you are looking up research, and you want to cite whatever it is that you're using. Let's say you wanted to use this one, right? You're like, this is it. This newspaper really covers the topic well. I want to use this. Great. Cite it. Cite it, guys. Don't spend hours trying to figure out how to cite. And don't worry if it takes a while, okay? Be patient with these things, all right? They're loading a lot of information. So, again, copy, right? Let's say, oh, this is awesome. I need this source. I'm going to include it. I'm going to include a quote. Okay, great. Or I'm going to include information that I read in here. Okay, great. Control V, okay? Oh, just delete that. No big deal. Close the gap. Take a look at the first letter of the last name, K or E. Which one comes first in the alphabet? E. Okay, well then let's highlight it. Control C is for copy. Backspace delete. You see where my cursor is here? Then I'm going to do Control V for paste. And I'm just going to close that gap. Done. Now it's in alphabetical order. Your works cited has to be in alphabetical order, guys, and don't forget that it has to be its own page. All right, guys, so that was it. That was pretty much just a quick guide as to how to format your paper in MLA style using Word, and how to cite any documents that you find using the Southwestern College Library website.